This will be for the con exercise, derivatives of inverse trigonometric functions. All right, so just some notes before we begin. This is a chart of the derivatives of the inverse trig functions. Now, I'm pretty sure, but not positive, that for this exercise, we are only using the three main ones for sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay? And you want to remember that arc sine is the same as inverse sine. So if you see arc sine, it's the same as inverse sine written like this. Okay, this is not sine to the -1. This is actually inverse sine, just so you know. And yes, the u will be like the angle or the argument. Okay, and they use u prime. I really don't like to use u prime. I would rather use du, as in the derivative of u. Okay, but same thing. Either way is good. Like I said, I don't think we're using cotan, cosecant, and secant. All right, so anyhow, these are the three main trig functions. These are the derivatives for the three main inverse trig functions. All right, so here we want to find the derivative with respect to x of the arctan of 2x and then evaluate it at x equals -2. So you want to find the derivative of this first and then sub in x equals -2. So let's do that. All right, so what we basically have here is the derivative with respect to x of the arctan. And in place of the 2x, that's the arctan of u. Okay, so u equals the 2x. And of course, the derivative of u, the derivative of 2x is just 2. All right, so let's go to the chart. For the arctan of u, that's right here. That's going to be u prime over 1 plus u squared. All right, so, all right, that's going to equal u prime over 1 plus u squared. Now, like I said, I would rather use du instead of u prime. It doesn't matter, okay? You can use either one, but I like du better. All right. So let's see. The derivative of u is just 2. And that's divided by 1 plus u squared. So that's going to be 1 plus, and u squared is 2x squared. And that equals 2 divided by 1 plus. The squared gets applied to both. So 2 squared is 4. And x squared is x squared. All right. And now we're going to plug in what they asked at x equals -2. All right, so let's do that off to the side here. At x equals -2, that's going to be 2 over 1 plus 4x squared. So that's going to be -2 squared. Make sure you use parentheses. All right, -2 squared is 4, and 4 times 4 is 16. So we're going to have 2 over 1 plus 16, which is 17. Final answer. All right, 2/17. All right, here we have the arc sine of x over 4. We want to find the derivative with respect to x. Okay, so this is in the form of y equals arc sine of u. And clearly the argument here, u, is x over 4. And remember, x over 4, that's the same as 1/4 times x. So the derivative of u, the derivative of 1/4 times x is just going to be 1/4. All right, so we have everything we need. We just need the formula real quick for arc sine. That's going to be u prime over radical 1 minus u squared. All right, so the derivative dy dx is going to be u prime over radical 1 minus x squared. Or no, that's u squared. Let me double check here. Radical 1 minus u squared. Okay, that makes more sense. So this is radical 1 minus u squared. Instead of u prime, I'm going to make it du. All right. I just think it's a better habit to make it du. And this was 1 minus u squared. All right. So in the numerator, the derivative of u is just 1/4. In the denominator, radical 1 minus u squared. And u is x over 4, so u squared is going to be x over 4. Quantity squared. All right. So 1/4 in the numerator, that's the same as 1 over 4. And times the square root here, that's going to be 1 minus. And you square the fraction, square the numerator and denominator. So that's going to be x squared over 4 squared, or x squared over 16. All right. And I think that's it right there. I don't think they're going to do anything else to simplify it. All right. Let me check their answers before I erase. All right. So my answer matches their answer B. All right, so here we want to find the derivative of the arc cosine of negative 2x at x equals 1/4. So we basically have the derivative with respect to x of the arc cosine of u. And in this case, the u is negative 2x. And the derivative of u, the derivative of negative 2x, is just negative 2. All right, so let's use the one for arc cosine. It's going to be negative u prime over radical 1 minus u squared. All right, so this is going to be negative u prime, but I like to write du over radical 1 minus u squared. All right. So in the numerator, negative du, that's going to be the negative of negative 2, divided by radical 1 minus, and u squared is going to be negative 2x. Make sure you use parentheses, squared. Okay, the negative of negative 2 is 2. Square root in the denominator, and that's going to be 1 minus. Negative 2 squared is 4, and x squared is x squared. So it's 1 minus 4x squared. All right, and plugging in x equals 1/4. I might need the extra room here. That's going to be 2 over the square root of 1 minus 4x squared. So that's 1 minus 4 times 1/4 squared. All right, and that's going to be 2 over the square root of 1 minus 4. 1/4 squared, you square the top and bottom individually. 1 squared is 1, and 4 squared is 16. All right, and that's going to be 2 divided by 4 over 16 is basically 1/4. So this right here is negative 1/4. 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4. So that's going to be radical 3/4. Let me see. Actually, the square root of 4 is just 2. Let me see. I need more room here. All right, let's see if I can finish this. This is going to be 2 divided by radical 3/4. That's going to be radical 3. And radical 4 in the denominator is a 2. All right, keep, change, flip. Keep the 2, change division to multiplication, and flip radical 3 over 2 and make it 2 over radical 3. So 2 times 2 is 4, and that's divided by radical 3. If you can't do, I don't know what their choices are. If you can't do a radical in the denominator, multiply top and bottom by radical 3, and it would just be 4 radical 3 over 3. Okay? So one of these two have to be the answer. It's either 4 over radical 3 or 4 radical 3 over 3, although those are equivalent. Let's see if they take square root in the denominator. I'm going to type 4/SQRT. It gives you the square root, and put the 3 right there. So it's 4 over radical 3. All right, or you can use this menu for square root. Let's see. Okay, they take it. Very good.